Hi, hello, and welcome to another interesting session on electromagnetic field theory and waves. In this session, we'll see the electric flux density and its properties. So, let's get started. You can see the electric flux lines here. So, this was done by Michael Faraday in the year 1837. He performed an experiment on the electric field and he observed that the electric field around a charge can be imagined in terms of the presence of lines of force. You can see the lines here. They are the electric flux lines or the electric field lines. So they are imaginary lines. So the electric flux is the product of electric field and the magnitude of the surface area through which the flux is passing. So the total number of lines of force is known as the electric flux, which is denoted by the symbol psi. Similar to this charge, the unit of electric flux is also in coulombs. So electric flux is also expressed in coulombs. We will see some of the properties of the electric flux lines. So electric flux means the lines of force which are present around a charge. So such electric flux lines have these properties. If you see the first property, we have two charges here, 2-point charges. One is plus q and the other one is minus q. So always the flux lines, they originate on the positive charge and they terminate on the negative charge. You can see the directions here of the flux lines. They always start from the positive charge, they terminate on the negative charge. Now if there is no negative charge, if there is only positive charge or only negative charge, you can see the direction of flux lines here. For only positive charge, the flux lines, they originate on the positive charge and they terminate at infinity. You can see the direction here. If there is only negative charge, the flux lines, they originate from at infinity and they terminate on this negative charge. So this is another property of the flux lines. If the electric field is stronger, you can see there will be more number of electric flux lines. So from the diagram, you can see another property here. The lines are parallel. If you see this, they never cross each other. So the lines always go in parallel lines. They never intersect or never cross each other. So another property is the lines are independent of the medium in which the charges are placed. So whatever be the medium, wherever you place the charges, that doesn't have any impact on the flux lines or the electric field lines. So another property is the electric lines always enter or leave the charged surface normally. You can see here they are either entering or leaving normally in a normal or perpendicular direction. Now, next property is if the charge on a body is plus or minus q coulombs, then the total number of lines originating or terminating on it is also equal to q, because the total number of lines is flux. So we can write this, therefore electric flux psi is equal to q coulombs. So these are some of the properties of electric flux lines or electric field lines. Next we have another term, that is electric flux density. This is denoted by the letter D. So if you take a unit surface area and there are some flux lines which are passing through this surface area. So the total flux passing normal through this unit surface is known as the electric flux density, which is denoted by this letter D. So we have already seen that psi is the total flux and S, or in this diagram that is A is the total surface area. Then the electric flux density can be defined as D is equal to flux per unit area, or psi divided by S. So psi is expressed in coulombs and the area is in meter square. So we can write the units of electric flux density as coulombs per meter square. So in vector form we can write like this: D is equal to d psi by ds. Here we need to put this unit vector an also, coulombs per meter square. Here d psi is the total number of flux lines crossing normal through the differential surface area ds, and ds is the differential surface area. An is the unit vector in the direction normal to the differential surface area. Now to calculate the electric flux density due to point charge q, we'll take a point charge here. So the field will be present all around this point charge. We can consider this as an imaginary sphere of radius r. So the flux lines, they originate from the point charge and they are radially directed outwards. Because it is a positive charge, you can see the direction of the flux lines going outward from the point charge q. So we can write D is equal to the total flux by the total surface area. Now here, if q is the total flux and the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. So we can write D is equal to q by 4 pi r square into AR coulombs per meter square. So this is the equation for electric flux density due to point charge q. Now we have a relationship between D and E. In the previous sessions we have seen the expression for electric field intensity due to a point charge, which is equal to q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into AR. Now the equation for D is q by 4 pi r square into AR. So only one extra term in E is this epsilon naught. So if you divide both of these two terms, D divided by E, so we get only epsilon naught. So D by E is equal to epsilon naught, or D is equal to epsilon naught into E. Now epsilon naught is the absolute permittivity of free space. So if we consider free space, this is the relation between D and E. D is equal to epsilon naught into E. If we take another medium other than free space which is having a relative permittivity of epsilon r, then we can write D is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r into E, where epsilon naught is the absolute permittivity and epsilon r is the relative permittivity. So we can combine both of these two, epsilon naught and epsilon r, and write it as just epsilon, or D is equal to epsilon into E. Now we'll see the electric flux density for various charge distributions. First we'll see the line charge. So in the previous session we have derived the expression for electric field intensity for a line charge, volume charge and surface charge. So we can use the same equation to find D. So here Q is equal to integral of rho L dl. Here rho L is the uniform charge density of the line charge. So to find the total charge, we need to integrate rho L into dl. So if we see the equation for D in terms of Q, we have this Q by 4 pi r square into AR. So in place of Q, just write integral rho L dl by 4 pi r square into AR. So this is the equation for electric flux density due to a line charge which is having a uniform charge density of rho L coulombs per meter. Now if the line charge is infinite, so in the previous session we have derived the expression for electric field intensity for an infinite line charge. There we got rho L by 2 pi epsilon naught r into AR. So use the relationship between D and E. So D is equal to epsilon naught into E. So just use this equation to find the D term. So D is equal to, so just multiply with epsilon naught and epsilon naught is cancelled. So this is the equation for D, which is rho L by 2 pi r into AR. So this is the expression for electric flux density due to infinite line charge. Next we'll see the D due to surface charge. So for a surface sheet of charge which is having a uniform charge density of rho s coulombs per meter square. So we can use this equation, Q is equal to surface integral of rho s into ds. So again this is a surface integral, so we need to do double integration. So again use the equation for D. D is equal to Q by 4 pi r square into AR. So in place of Q, write in surface integral of rho s into ds divided by 4 pi r square into AR. This is the equation for electric flux density due to surface charge, which is having a uniform charge density of rho s coulombs per meter square. Okay, you need to remember one important point here. The integral, when it is a surface integral, we need to integrate twice. If it is a line integral, integrate only once. Now, to find the electric flux density due to infinite sheet of charge. So this expression we have derived in the previous sessions. The electric field intensity due to infinite sheet of charge. We got it as rho s by 2 epsilon naught into an. Now from this equation we can find the electric flux density due to infinite sheet charge, which is equal to epsilon naught into E. So multiply this equation with epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is cancelled. Therefore electric flux density due to infinite sheet of charge is rho s by 2 into an. Next, to find the volume charge, we'll consider a charge enclosed by a volume of uniform charge density rho v coulombs per meter cube. So the total charge enclosed is Q is equal to volume integral of rho v into dv. So this also we derived in the previous case, where E is equal to volume integral of rho v dv by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into ar. So to find the expression for D, we'll use the equation or the relationship between D and E, where D is equal to epsilon naught into E. So multiply this equation with epsilon naught. So we get D is equal to volume integral of rho v into dv divided by 4 pi r square into ar. So here also this is a volume integral. So we need to integrate 3 times, that is thrice. So these are the important points you need to remember. For a line integral, integrate only once. For a surface integral, integrate twice. And for a volume integral, integration is to be done 3 times. So these are the expressions for electric flux density due to various charge distributions. I hope I am clear. Thank you.